just the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way you showed me. Nod my head, don't close my eyes. Halfway on a slow move, it's the same way you showed me. If you could fly, then you'd feel south. Up north's getting cold soon. The way it is, we're on land, so I'm someone to hold true. Keep you cool when it's still alive. Won't let you down when it's all ruined. Just the same way you showed me.
Hi, my name is Rosa, but you can call me Rose Flowers. This time, we are going to talk a little bit about the Mekong River. Surely, you have heard of it before, right? The Mekong River is often called the lifeblood for millions of people in Southeast Asia. Why is that? Because this river flows through this diverse landscape and connects various cultures. It is not just waterway, but also an important resource for agriculture, fisheries, transportation, and energy. Its long, winding flow creates a unique ecosystem that supports extraordinary biodiversity. The Mekong has seemingly witnessed the long history of civilizations in this region, from ancient kingdom to modern economic development. The Mekong River is the 12th longest river in the world and the longest in Southeast Asia, stretching about 40,350 to 4,900 from the Tibetan Plateau in China all the way to the South China Sea through Vietnam. It flows through six countries: China, where it's calling the Lancangjiang, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam, and serves as a primary source of life for around 80 million people in the region. The Mekong plays a vital role in the social, economic, and cultural life of the communities around it. The river provides water for farming, fishing, transportation, as well as hydroelectric power, and serves as an important trade route between countries. The biodiversity in the Mekong is very rich, with thousands of fish species and other aquatic animals, making it a unique and thriving ecosystem. The history along the Mekong is also very long, with evidence of human settlements dating back to 2100 BC, and great civilizations such as Funan and Khmer developing along its bank. The river also acts a natural boundary and a cultural migration through the shape the identities of various ethnic groups in Southeast Asia. Besides its natural beauty and cultural richness, the Mekong River faces major challenges such as challenge in water flow caused by upstream dam, climate change, and environmental pressure that threaten the sustainability of vital resources.
The role of the Mekong River in people's life. The Mekong River, stretching over 4,300 kilometers, flows through six countries in Southeast Asia, which include China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. It plays a crucial role in the life of over 60 million people living along its banks, particularly in the downstream countries like Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. First thing first, we talk about agriculture. The Mekong River provides water and fertile sediment that is essential for agriculture. For example, the Mekong Delta in Vietnam is one of the world's largest rice producers. Seasonal floods bring nutrients that naturally fertilize agricultural lands, reducing the need for chemical fertilizer. The second one is fisheries. The Mekong is home to one of the world's highest freshwater biodiversity systems. The river supports the second largest freshwater fishery in the world after the Amazon. It's estimated that over 2 million tons of fish are harvested annually, providing a primary source of protein for millions of people, especially in Cambodia and Laos. The third one is irrigation. The Mekong River and its tributaries provide the main source for traditional and modern irrigation systems. This is particularly crucial in regions that experience long dry seasons. Irrigation projects help increase agricultural productivity and food security. The fourth one is transportation. The Mekong River is used as a waterway for transporting goods and people, especially in areas where road infrastructure is limited. Boats and ships travel along the river carrying agricultural products, fish, construction materials, and passengers between cities and countries. The last one is cultural and society. The Mekong River holds significant cultural and spiritual importance for local communities. Many traditional festivals and rituals are connected to the river and its water. For example, the Bom Om Tok Festival in Cambodia and the Loi Krathong Festival in Thailand celebrate the importance of water and the life-giving force of the river.
Number and location of dam construction. So far, China has built more than 11 major dams along the upper Mekong River, called the Lancang in China, while Laos has planned and built over 10 large dams, including the Xayaburi and Don Sahong projects. These countries are very active in dam construction because they see hydropower as a key source of economic growth and energy support. Decrease in water flow in downstream countries. According to the Mekong River Commission or MRC, water flow in Cambodia and Vietnam during the dry season has dropped by 30 until 50% compared to periods before the dams were built. This significant decrease happens every year, especially when upstream dams store water from hydropower, reducing the amount of water that reaches the downstream areas. Destruction to ecosystem and fish catch. The reduced flow affect fish migration and natural nutrient flows. The MRC has reported that fish catch have dropped by up to 50% in some parts of the lower Mekong. Change in sediment flow have also damaged fish habitats, directly impacting river communities that rely on fishing for their livelihood and cultural identity. Saltwater intrusion in the Mekong Delta in Vietnam. With less fresh water flowing down the river, seawater is pushing further inland in Vietnam's Mekong Delta. Research from the Vietnam Institute for Salt and Water Research show that saltwater has reaches up to 80 km inland during the dry season. This has damaged farmland, threatened rice production, and caused a shortage of clean water for millions of people. Political tension between upstream and downstream countries. The rapid dam construction upstream has created political tension among Mekong Basin countries. Downstream nations like Vietnam and Cambodia have raised concern about the lack of transparency and coordination from upstream countries such as China and Laos. The Mekong River Commission acts as regional platform for discussion, but it lacks real power to enforce water sharing rules. Real example: water crisis in Cambodia. During the dry season in 2023, Cambodia faced a major water crisis. River levels dropped more than 5 meters below the average from the past decade. According to MRC reports, academics and local journalists report widespread drought, affecting farmland, irrigation and clean water supply in places like Phnom Penh and Battambang province.
In the heart of Southeast Asia, the Mekong River flows as a lifeline, nourishing land, feeding families, and sustaining livelihood. As the Mekong River continues to change, so do the lives of the people who depend on it. Climate change could make drought longer, rainfall more unpredictable, and temperature higher. This change, combined with ongoing dam construction, create complex challenge for millions who depend on this vital waterway. In the eyes of local communities such as farmers, fishers, and families living near the riverbank, the signs are already clear. The river they once trusted has become unpredictable. They speak of fish that no longer come.
แต่ก่อนหาปลาก็ได้มื้อหนึงก็ประมาณ10กิโลแต่ว่าเดี๋ยวนี้มันก็มื้อหนึงก็สิบ่ได้จักโลเลยเนี่ย
Fields that dry too early, salty water that creeps where it never used to. The river no longer gives what it once did. We don't know what to expect anymore. They face the harsh reality of a changing climate, which shake their way of life and puts their livelihoods in danger. Government in upstream countries such as Laos and China justify dam construction as a crucial step toward energy independence and poverty reduction.
Not only help to increase the GDP or the economy, but it also help directly the Lao people.
For them, hydropower represents green energy, which is a cleaner alternative in the fight against climate change. But on the other hand, environmental scientists warn that climate change is intensifying the pressure on the river ecosystem. Reduced rainfall and rising temperature worsen the impacts of dams, causing irreversible damage to biodiversity and water quality. The combined threats endanger the sustainability of the entire region. Water security has become a geopolitical issue in Southeast Asia. As climate change deepens water scarcity, competition over the Mekong resources could lead to political conflicts. Collaborative governance and diplomacy are more urgent than ever to avoid crisis. The Mekong River future depends on how these diverse challenges and perspectives are balanced. Without cooperation and sustainable solution, the region faces not only environmental degradation but also potential social and political instability.
Why? Response and efforts. First, improve water flow management and data sharing. China has agreed to share hydrological data with downstream countries Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Laos during the flood and dry seasons to help predict water levels. The Mekong River Commission, or MRC, also promotes joint monitoring and forecasting modification for better fish migration. Laos modified the Sayaburi Dam design by adding fish passage and sediment flushing systems after pressure from environmental groups and neighboring countries. Sustainable hydropower planning and alternative energy. Vietnam and Cambodia are investing in solar and wind energy to reduce reliance on hydropower. The MRC Sustainable Hydropower Guidelines to minimize environmental Delta Protection Project. Vietnam built sluice gates and freshwater reservoirs to block saltwater intrusion. The government also promotes climate-smart agriculture to adapt to changing water conditions, strengthening regional cooperation. The Lancang Mekong Cooperation, or MLC, initiated by China, includes water resource management projects. However, critics argue it lacks enforcement power compared to community-based adoption and livelihood support. NGOs and government fund alternative livelihood programs. Example, aquaculture and ecotourism for communities affected by the
The Mekong River is not merely a body of water winding through Southeast Asia, it is the beating heart of an entire region, a sacred lifeline that has now reached civilizations for millennia. Today, this vital artery is under siege. As we stand at this critical juncture, we must ask ourselves, will we be the generation that saved the Mekong or the one that watched it wither away? A river is in crisis. The evidence is undeniable. Fish stock has plummeted by 50% in some areas, robbing families of their primary protein source and livelihood. Saltwater intrusion now reach 80 km inland, poisoning Vietnam's rice bowl, the same rice that feeds millions across Asia. Dams hold back not just water, but life-giving sediment that has sustained agriculture for centuries. Communities that have depended on the river's rhythms for generations now face an uncertain future. Development is not inherently wrong. Every nation has the right to pursue progress, but when that progress comes at the expense of neighbors and ecosystems, it becomes unsustainable. China's 11 dams and Laos' ambitious hydropower plants might provide clean energy, but at what cost? The Mekong Delta could disappear within our lifetimes, taking with it 17 million Vietnamese who call the Delta home, 50% of Cambodia's protein supply from Tonle Sap's fisheries, and a cultural heritage spanning thousands of years. A crossroad for Southeast Asia. This is not just an environmental issue. It's a humanitarian crisis in slow motion, a geopolitical time bomb, and a test of our region's solidarity. The choice we make today will determine whether. The first one is the Mekong becomes a series of stagnant reservoirs and biodiversity lost forever. And the second one is or evolves into a model of transboundary water cooperation. The solution is like the first one is transforms water governance, strengthen the Mekong River Commission with binding agreements, demand real-time data sharing from all dam operators, and establish minimum flow requirements that protects ecosystem. The second one, rethink energy development. Implement a 10-year moratorium on new mainstream dams. Redirect investment to solar and wind projects across the regions, and upgrade existing dams with fish passage and sediment management. The third one is protect the vulnerable. Create adaptation funds for Delta communities facing salinity intrusion. Develop alternative livelihoods for fishing communities and preserve indigenous knowledge of river management. The fourth one is unite the region. For a high-level Mekong summit with all 6 riparian nations, establish joint scientific research initiative, develop shared climate adaptation strategy. So, your legacy will be written in water. Will you be remembered as stewards or exploiters? Sustainable investment is just ethical. It's the only viable long-term strategy. The Mekong Voice is yours. Demand accountability through supporting environmental organizations, promoting sustainable tourism, and voting with the river in mind. The Mekong has given us everything: food, culture, and connection. Now it asks one thing in return: that we see beyond borders and short-term gains. As the great river flows, so too must our commitment to its future. The time for half measures is over. Either we save the Mekong together, or we will watch its demise together. The choice and the responsibility is ours. Act now, before the Mekong become just another cautionary tale in the history books.